Hello there, greetings my dear friends, my name is Saeed, I am an online English language teacher, and this is another episode from the series of video lessons devoted to the vocabulary for the IELTS speaking section. And the topic of the lesson today is business. Alright, so this is the lesson number 12 overall. And the topic that we're going to discuss today does not tend to be quite popular in the real IELTS speaking tests because, well, I mean, that's according to the little survey that I have done. I kind of questioned about 45, 50 people that recently took the IELTS test, and 95% of them have reported that they have not had the questions that were based on the topic of business. All right. So if we take these approximately 50 people, and their testimonies for granted, that will mean that business tends to be not the most frequently appeared topic on the real IELTS test. Okay. But still, I mean, if you encounter questions from this topic, these questions may be something like describing a business that you know well, or maybe talking about your own ambitions in this sphere. So if you pay a closer attention at the words and phrases that are highlighted in the orange-yellow color, that will mean that you will have a better chance to get a higher score because you will have some specific Band 9 vocabulary to use in your own answers, right? So now we shall move on to the speaking part 1. So here we are, part 1 style questions. And the first question that we see is, do you work or are you a student? Now, the person's named Hati is responding. I run my own business actually. I have an online business which sells cosmetics. I set up the business 5 years ago and I'm really enjoying working for myself. Okay, question number 2. What is your ideal job? Kaori is giving his or her answer. I don't think I'd enjoy working for a big company. I think I'd like to go it alone and be self-employed. I'm not sure what area of business it would be, but I think I'd enjoy the process of drawing up a business plan and seeing if I could be successful. All right, and now we have the final question from the Speaking Part 1 series. Is your town a nice place to live? The girl named Monique, that's a French name, is giving her opinion. It's okay. The main problem we have is our local high street. It used to be a busy center, but lots of shops have gone bust. It must be very difficult to make a profit when you have a huge supermarkets in the area, and a lot haven't been able to survive with such cutthroat competition. Okay. Well, that's a really, really sad story, Monique. And I feel really sorry for your town to have suffered such a loss in terms of, little stores and stuff. Okay, now we're done with the speaking part 1, and we shall proceed to the speaking part 2. So here we are. Speaking part 2. The cue card gives us an interesting question. Describe a business you know that you admire. You should say what this business is, what the business sells, how long you have known about the business, and say why you like it so much. Well, in this very moment, my friends, I'd like to remind you that you may pause the video, you may want to pause the video in this moment and give yourself some 60 seconds to write out any ideas or thoughts that may come to your heads in regards to this question. And additionally, about 2 minutes to actually act out the very speaking, like the answer to this question, trying to pretend to be in the, test room talking to a real examiner, or maybe just having an online conversation with the examiner by means of the video conferencing tools. And after that, you can resume playing and try to check your answers and the answers that will be here. It will be probably even more profitable if you also record yourself to your phone, for example, to the feature that the phone has, the voice recorder, and then compare the answer here and your own. And that'll be a very interesting thing to find out whether you were able to use some nice vocabulary in your answer, or maybe you would need to have some vocabulary from the lesson to enhance your overall speaking. All right? Now we will go to the Band 9 model answer. So here we are. The guy named Mehdi is giving his answer to this question. I'd like to say that the answer looks quite impressive and big. Let's see the vocabulary and just the general flow of his ideas that he put in his Band 9 answer. So here we go. Actually, I discovered a business very recently that I like so much. I'd like to do something similar in the future. It's a small niche business that runs courses on how to cook, especially bread. The owner uses his kitchen for the courses and went into business with a local community shop and sells a lot of the bread and cakes they make in the shop. I first got to hear about the business last year. My wife paid for me to do one of the baking courses and I got to know the owner during the training. It's a lifestyle business, really. He doesn't have plans to take on employees or expand into new areas. He's happy earning a living, doing one thing he loves. I really admire what he does, and I'm sure a lot of people would love to do something similar. He has a web presence. In fact, that's how we got to find out about his company. And he uses social media to raise the company profile. But he's the only person involved in running the business, so he's in complete control of where the business goes. That's something that must make it really satisfying. As long as he's managing to balance the books and the cash flow is healthy, I'm sure he must be very pleased with what he has achieved. Well, my friends, I think this is a very, very interesting and big response. I believe that if you speak it, I mean, give the answer to the question with a low speed of your speech, you might not, answer all of the aspects of the question within the 2 minutes framework, but that's not a big deal. The most important thing for you is not to be silent and just to speak, okay? I love the vocabulary. It really looked impressive, and we will of course review every single individual word and phrase in the end of the presentation. And now we shall move on to the speaking part 3. There we go. So here we are, part 3 style questions. Question number 1. Why do some people decide to set up their own business? Marion, that's the French female name, is giving her answer. I suppose it's the idea of being in control of your own destiny, or of believing in a product or service idea you may have. Plus, it must be very exciting. Launching products, winning contracts, and seeing your sales figures improving must be wonderful. Yeah, I think it has to be wonderful. The question number 2. What are some of the dangers involved in starting a business? Hero is giving his answer. Well, obviously you need to have a good idea. Some people say you need to do market research beforehand so you know what the market wants. If you don't do this, you could go under. And if it is not a good idea, if it is a good idea, the chances are someone else is doing the same thing, so you could end up facing stiff competition. And the final question. What are some of things you have to do when running your own business that might not appeal to everyone? Katie suggests the following answer. Personally, I don't like being in debt, so taking out a business loan wouldn't suit me at all. And I know a lot of companies do cold calling to try and drum up business. That's something I'd hate to do. And laying people off if the business gets into trouble, that would be horrible. I have to agree with Katie, especially the people part. That is a very, very difficult thing to do. Well, my friends, this is it. We are done with all of the 3 parts of the speaking, and now we shall move on to what exactly the vocabulary, the definitions of every single word and expression that we had on the lesson, okay? So, to balance the books means to not spend more money than you are earning. To be self-employed stands for to work for yourself or to not work for an employer. To cold call means to make a sales call to someone without asking them for permission first. I would also say that the cold call would be calling to somebody who you don't really know. Because, like I wouldn't say that if you're calling to your friend without a permission to call first, that would be considered as a cold call, It's basically has to be about somebody who does not know about you and who you do not know, okay? Cutthroat competition. It's when one company lowers its prices, forcing others to do the same, sometimes to a point where business becomes unprofitable. It's like damping the prices, Okay. To do market research means to do research into what potential customers would or would not buy. To draw up a business plan stands for to write a plan for a new business. To drum up business means to try to get customers. To earn a living stands for to earn money. To go bust, that's a very good expression, I loved it. Well, although it's very sad meaning, but the expression is good. When a business is forced to close because it is unsuccessful. Cash flow, it's the money coming in and going out of a business. To go into business with means to join another person to start or expand a business. To go it alone means to start your own business. To go under, it's actually the same as to go bust, to be forced to close the business by certain circumstances. To have a web presence means to have a website or maybe social media profile that showcases your business. To launch a product means to start selling and promoting a new product. To lay someone off means when a company ends an employee's contract of employment. It's like to fire a person, okay? Lifestyle business, that's a business that is set up to bring in a sufficient income and no more. So it's like you make enough money for living, like, and you do not have any like high, super ambitious, goals. To make a profit means to earn more money than it costs to run the business. The niche business is a business that serves a small particular market. The word niche, it's like, the area, the sphere. To raise a company profile means to make more people aware of a business. Sales figures, that's a report of the income a company generates through sales of products or services. And here we have to run your own business. That means to have a business of your own. To set up a business means to start a business. Yes. Stiff competition is a strong competition from other companies in the same work area. I have heard the expression something like fierce competition. So you may also keep this in mind. You may call the competition stiff or fierce. All right. To take on employees, that means to employ people, to hire people. To take out a loan, that's to borrow money. To win a contract means when a business gets legally binding work with an individual or company. And finally, to work for yourself, that's the same, like to be self-employed. I would suggest a couple of meanings to this expression. It's either to have your own business or to be like a freelancer, which is also the case of being self-employed. You are the boss of your own timetable. For example, you can start your working hours at 11 a.m. or you can start your working hours at 5 a.m. depending on, the time you want to wake up or whatever. So this is these are both examples of work for yourself. So Okay, guys, I guess we're done with today's lesson, and I'd like to say it was a big pleasure, a huge pleasure, to stay with you and to give you this interesting information. I hope you really liked and enjoyed it, and if you really did, I will be very happy if you hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube channel. And just a special thanks for studying the language from me, and hopefully this material will really help you, first of all, most importantly, boost your English up. That's number one. And number two, of course, to help you with your IELTS taking, with your score. All right? At least with the speaking. So thank you so much, and I wish you the great day or the good night, depending on what time it is in your area. And thank you so much for being with me. See you in the next videos. Bye.